organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, we take a look at why some in Iowa City community are angry about the College Republicans Coming Out Week.
And it was a beautiful day in Iowa City. People were enjoying the nice weather. Coming up, I'll have a full forecast to see if you can expect more of the same.
And in sports, hear about what may be an issue for the Hawkeye football team next year.
That's all coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in to your Wednesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Brad Maxwell.
And I'm Allie Wright. The hopes for new 4 or 5 bedroom apartments in downtown Iowa City became a little bleaker Tuesday night. To explain what one city vote means to students, Daily Iowan TV's Stefan Jurian joins us on the set. Stefan?
Thanks, Allie. Last night, the Iowa City City Council voted to approve a new ordinance on downtown apartments. The ordinance restricts any new apartments in or around downtown to 3 unrelated residents. The vote passed 5-1, and this is the first of 3 votes needed to put the ordinance into effect. Now this only applies to newly constructed apartments, and any current 4 or 5 bedroom apartments will be grandfathered in. So if the other 2 votes pass, any current students living downtown will not get evicted. Back to you guys.
We are now one step closer to the death of traffic cameras in Iowa after the state legislature voted last night to ban them statewide. Opponents of the cameras say they take out the human element of traffic enforcement, while supporters say they reduce traffic accidents and deaths. The Iowa City City Council voted last month to implement the use of red light cameras in town. The bill now goes to the Iowa Senate.
Computers have replaced people at employment offices across the state. However, the new system is experiencing a glitch. Daily Iowan TV's Nicole Meehan went to the Capitol to hear both sides of the story.
State Democrats are pleased after the Iowa Supreme Court ruled that Governor Terry Branstad had overstepped his authority. Last summer, the governor vetoed a bill which would have provided $3.6 billion to unemployment offices across the state.
Yes, he can veto it, but darn it, he can't veto the language and then keep the money.
The governor closed down over 3 dozen of these agencies. He then used that money to install computer kiosks in places such as libraries and homeless shelters. But Democrats argue that digital is not always desirable.
A computer can never replace a human being in terms of counseling and so forth.
Democrats say that Branstad's decision was an example of
pretty dumb politics.
Some legislators feel that people are having too much trouble operating these self-help kiosks. But Republicans see this as a minor problem.
So, when you always look at doing things in a new way, there can be consequences and there can be opportunities, and you work through them as you go.
The governor's director of communications defends Branstad's decision.
We believe this is a new system that works. Usage is up, unemployment is down, and we want to continue on that success.
The Iowa House has approved an $8.6 million budget to keep the unemployment offices open until June. This is Nicole Meehan, Daily Iowan TV.
Authorities charge an Iowa City nurse who they have accused of stealing prescription drugs. 58-year-old Rose Hazelet worked at Mercy Iowa City Hospital and allegedly used a patient's name in order to steal the drugs. Police say she took the medication from drug dispensing machines and kept them for herself. Police suspect that she did this on 37 different occasions between 2009 and 2010. She is currently being held in custody in Johnson County for felony charges.
Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, it's the College Republicans Coming Out Week. Find out what Iowa City group is less than pleased and why.
And the Rape Victim Advocacy Program is raising awareness of its services. We'll have more details coming up.
And in sports, the Iowa baseball team has welcomed multiple new freshmen to the team. Find out who's moved into the starting shortstop position. But first, let's check in with Mariel Coney to see what we can expect for the rest of this week's weather. Mariel?
Thanks, Brad. The sun was shining once again today, and we'll continue to see it shine tomorrow morning. However, in the afternoon, we'll see some clouds coming with highs in the lower 60s, and we'll also see a major drop in temps into the evening. Looking at our extended forecast, Friday's temperatures will be similar to Thursday. Expect thunderstorms on Saturday with highs in the upper 50s, so it will feel a little cooler than what we had last weekend. It will warm up on Sunday with sunny skies and will stay pretty consistent Monday through Wednesday next week. You will see some clouds here and there on Monday, but the sun will still remain throughout the week. So Brad, there's definitely much more cooler temps this week, but overall a typical week for spring. Back to you.
It is a time for coming out, for Republicans that is. This week is the University of Iowa's College Republicans Coming Out Week. They say it is an opportunity for Republicans to be proud of their conservative values. The College Republicans are holding events throughout the week, such as giving away free cupcakes for showing identification and hosting an animal rights barbecue. But some members of the gay and lesbian, bisexual, transgender community are offended by the use of the term coming out. LGBT advocates said the group of Republicans is using the term to mock them. College Republicans defend themselves, saying the term is not exclusive to the gay community.
I highly disagree with them with the idea that saying coming out should be a gay-only term. I think it can apply to many people, atheists. It just depends on what region you're living in the world and everything.
The LGBT community has asked the College Republicans to stop using the phrase, but the group has yet to do so.
April is nationally recognized as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and one local group is reaching out to students at the UI. RVAP, or the Rape Victim Advocacy Program, is hosting events throughout April to raise awareness about sexual violence. Informational tables will feature a variety of pamphlets and tips to prevent sexual assault. RVAP will also be launching its Start by Believing campaign throughout April. The campaign highlights the impact that friends and family can have on the healing process of sexual assault victims. Informational tables will be located at Hillcrest on April 11th and Kirkwood Community College on April 18th.
While Easter is approaching and with the country still making its way out of recession, some may be forced to celebrate the holiday without one of its traditional dishes, ham. According to the Associated Press, ham prices have been higher than usual over the past 2 years due to an increased cost in pig feed. For the past 2 years, whole ham prices have risen to between 75 and 80 cents per pound, compared to roughly 55 cents per pound between 2006 and 2010. The U.S. Department of Agriculture predicts that Americans consume roughly 51 pounds of pork each year, and Iowa is the biggest pork-producing state in the U.S.
And now let's see what's going on outside of Iowa. Ever had a dream to drive off in the sunset? Now it has a different meaning. The first American flying car made headlines after a successful test flight. The Pal V completed the test flight earlier this week. It flew for 8 minutes at 1,400 feet. Commercial airlines fly at around 35,000 feet. Around 100 people have already put down $10,000 deposit for the first ones when they go on sale.
India introduced its first nuclear submarine on Wednesday. India's defense minister said the nuclear submarine will secure the protection of India. He went on to say that it also could be used to protect India's sovereignty if it was ever threatened.
And Mitt Romney swept the primaries in 3 different states on Wednesday night. Romney won primaries in Maryland, D.C., and Wisconsin. He picked up a total of 98 delegates in those wins. With those delegates, Mitt Romney now has more than half the number of delegates needed to secure the nomination. Still, other GOP candidates have vowed to stay in the race. And now for your Hawkeye Sports Update, let's check in with Kate Constable. Kate?
The Iowa football team held its weekly press conference today. Daily Iowan TV Sports' Nick Robertson was at Hayden Fry Football Complex for the update.
It's hard to believe that the theme for the Iowa football team this spring is once again youth. Riddled with injuries, transfers, and players leaving for the NFL, the Hawkeyes roster is left, well, thin.
When you ask any D1 coach, they're going to tell you that they don't really want true freshmen starting. But Coach Kirk Ferentz, Coach Reese Morgan, and Coach Eric Campbell say that they might have to make that sacrifice this season.
We'll allow those guys to, really show what they can do. So hopefully they'll be ready to go. Basically, any first-year guy next fall that proves that he can help our team, we'll give him that opportunity.
It's tough at that position. I think either line position, it's hard to do because of the physical nature. Certainly, those 2 young men would have physical ability to do that. Possibly, it remains to be seen. Not always the most talented guys are the guys that play. It's the guys that are the most productive.
A lot of guys could run and catch the football, but again, you said the technical part of it, reading defensive. So we waiting to see. But I think I'm prepared for a freshman to come in and be able to help us.
Even though the coaching staff says it is work ethic that decides who plays, the roster might be the biggest factor this coming season. Nick Robertson, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
From the gridiron to the diamond and one young team to the next, the University of Iowa baseball team has welcomed 11 new faces this season. One of those faces is becoming quite familiar to fans, freshman shortstop Jake Yasinich. I was at Dwayne Banks Field the other day to talk to Yasinich about his role on the team thus far.
Shortstop Jake Yasinich.
The former high school state champ came to Iowa expecting to play third base as he had done for the past 4 years. But number 14 Yasinich soon found that head coach Jack Dahm had other plans in mind.
When we recruited Jake, we thought he was a natural shortstop. We liked his baseball instincts, his range. You can see he's a rangy type of guy, athletic. He's got arm strength, and we thought he'd be a very, very good shortstop.
And a good shortstop he has been thus far. Yasinich is the team's starter at this position, and while Coach Dahm believes the position has helped his game grow, the modest freshman gives his teammates all the credit.
I think I've grown, I've become more mature in the game due to the older guys, and I've learned a lot more about the game and how to play the game the right way because of the older guys and what they've taught me and stuff like that, and watching them and how they play.
But fielding isn't the only aspect of Yasinich's game that's given him a successful start this season. His hitting isn't too bad either. Just take a look at his numbers. In the 21 regular season games, Yasinich has the highest batting average on the team at .353 and the second highest on-base percentage and multiple hit games behind senior Mike McQuillan. He's also tied for the team lead in runs batted in at 3 per game. But Yasinich doesn't seem too worried about the numbers or the title starting shortstop that rings over the speakers to start the game. Right now, he's just out there to play the game he loves. Join us again tomorrow to find out how the Hawks finished up tonight in their 2-game series against South Dakota State. That's all I have. Back to the desk.
Voting for next year's University of Iowa student government offices began this morning. This is the first time in 3 years that more than one party has ran in the election. This year, the I-Party ticket is led by Nick Potabom for president and Jesse Tobin for vice president. The hashtag party is led by Sonny Kathari for president and Nick Ralston for vice president. Voting will end at 5 p.m. on Thursday. Students at the university can vote by going to their ISIS page and clicking on My Vote. Students are allowed to only vote once for president and vice president, but can vote for multiple senators.
Today marks the annual Student Government Election Day here at the University of Iowa. Candidates have been campaigning for the last couple of months around campus to promote changes and improvements they can bring to the student body. As Election Day drew nearer, students may have noticed a new down-to-earth candidate promoting himself around campus. The student radio station KRUI decided to elect another influential candidate to the presidential race, who they thought could have a positive impact on the university. After a failed candidacy in 2001, the Return Student Government to Its Roots campaign is back in action. A potato has been running for student government president for the last couple of weeks, and by sharing his political views and goals via Facebook and Tumblr, the potato has caused quite a commotion in the student politics conversation.
Chip on my shoulder, not to make a potato pun there. But I do tend to have a chip on my shoulder. I want everything really bad. I work hard for what I have, and I think that's something I bring to the table.
Although the Potatoes' name will not be officially on the presidential ballot this year, officials with the Potatoes campaign think the campaign has shown students what university changes should be acted upon around campus.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Thursday's print version of the Daily Iowan. Read about how the Iowa City City Council approved a measure to give themselves iPads for their duties as City Council members.
Plus, Johnson County dropped in the statewide health ranking. Read what the ranking now is.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com. Thanks for watching and have a great night.